Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Holistic House Own Live. I'm Andrea Morrison, and I'm here today with Claire Cutler Casey, and I'm going to ask her to introduce herself in a moment. So I hope you're really looking forward to today's hangout. I'm really excited about it. As you'll see, Claire is a business coach who specialises just in holistic therapists. So we're really excited to have her here today so she can share with us what she does so she can help all of you. So without further ado, Claire, hello and welcome to Holistic House Online. And perhaps would you like to start by just introducing yourself a bit and tell us a bit more about what you do?
Hi Andrea, thanks very much, and thanks for inviting me to do this. I really appreciate it. And hi everybody. So my name's Claire. And what I do is I provide business coaching, which all sounds a bit sort of highfalutin really, but basically it's just someone who you can talk to about your business and things that maybe are troubling you with whatever's happening with trying to set your practice up or growing your practice or running your practice. And things that are affecting you, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a business related question, it might be something about the way that you're relating to something in your business or that something else is happening that you need to manage. So it's very much someone who's in your corner, who's totally impartial, and who's able to offer you an ear, as well as some practical tools and advice and ideas in how to do things differently, really. So I've been doing that for 10 years. It's a bit scary when I say that, because that time has really flown. I've been a business coach in the UK for 10 years, and I've helped all manner of people to start, run, and grow their businesses in that time. And what I decided to do, because being a holistic practitioner as well, I noticed that there was a lot of struggle in the holistic world, and partly due to the fact that the time in the holistic world is very different than it is in the rest of the world. And I thought, okay, how can I help people to be more capable in the business side of things and to be more comfortable and to grow practices that are going to work for them as well as working for their clients. And so, yeah, that's what I do. I work one-to-one with people. I work in small group training, and I also run these fabulous holistic retreats, which is where people come away and in a totally holistic environment they learn all about the particular issues that the holistic retreat is focusing on at that time. So that's a little bit about me and what I do. So I'm interested to hear what questions you've got for me.
Well, we have a few interesting questions for you, Claire. I think first of all, why I'm interested is why do you only work with holistic therapists?
Okay, well, it's a question that people ask me quite regularly. The thing that I've learned in my years of being a business coach is that if I was walking dogs for a living, or maybe I was being a plumber or an electrician, there are spaces in that time when I'm doing that job, and actually I can think about other things. You know, wiring a plug is a very simple thing. It's a thing that you just do again and again and again, and you can actually think about other things while you're doing it. But when you work as a holistic practitioner or a person-centered practitioner, you have to be with that client in the time that you are working with them. So you can't let your mind wander, you can't think about other things. So it means that by the end of the day, and if you've got a busy clinic day, by the end of the day you're likely to be very tired as well. The amount of time that you have to then devote to your business is really quite restricted. So what I've been doing is formulating lots of quick tips, tools, practical things that people can do to still keep the other side of their business running, to keep their marketing going, to keep building their customer base, and not to detract from the fact that actually when they're with their clients they have to be 100% present.
Yeah, I think that's really kind of on the nail there. So what does the sort of business coaching actually involve? You mentioned some tips and things that you've put together, but what kinds of things can a therapist expect if they're going to work with you?
Well, all business coaching that I offer is individuated. So the first thing is to sit down and we have a chat and we say, okay, where are you now? Where do you want to be? And what's stopping you from getting to that place? And I'll be perfectly honest with you, everybody's journey is totally different. I was talking to a lady this morning who was struggling with Excel. So we had a quick telephone session about how do I do this very particular thing in Excel because it's really doing my head in. And then other people I'll sit down with and it'll be, I'm not marketing enough, or I want to stop learning and start doing, and I'm scared about going networking, or I'm worried about my confidence or my value set, or those sorts of things. So it is very much about sitting down with a person and just saying, okay, who are you, what matters to you, where do you want this to go, how do you want it to be for you, and then identifying the obstacles and finding different things for different people that will help them to get over those obstacles. Because for everybody, the route around or over an obstacle is different. So again, it is about working individually with each person to identify their challenges and then to help them to get around those challenges and to flourish in a way that they want to flourish. It's not about me saying, okay, your business must be like this. You must work this amount of time, you must earn this amount of money. It's very much directed by the client and by them saying, this is what I want to achieve and this is how I'm prepared to achieve it. This is the amount of time I've got, the amount of resource I've got, and this is what I want to achieve by using those resources better, really.
I think that's really important because so often I think, obviously I'm a therapist as well, you worry that if you go to a business coach, they're going to give you a kind of a formula. This is what you have to do. This is what your business has to look like. And for many of us, that just doesn't fit easily with any of us. So it's refreshing to hear that it's all about for all that therapist, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course I recommend books for people to read, I recommend things on the internet, YouTube, I recommend different models that people can look at. Quite a lot on Twitter I talk about things like the business model generation, which I love, but obviously for some people that's just not how they want to do their business. So the fact that I have such a broad experience of all different types of ways of approaching a problem and all different types of solutions of getting out of that situation and transforming it is what enables me to then build a very individuated set for someone and for them to think, yeah, actually I might try this, I might try that, because a lot of it in coaching is about trying new things. It's not necessarily about reinventing the wheel, but it's about saying, okay, I've tried that before, how can I maybe do that in a different context? Or, okay, I haven't tried that before. These are my fears around trying that thing, and working around those fears and helping people to get beyond what they see as a barrier to doing something new. Because at the end of the day, nobody was born a holistic therapist. Everybody had to learn how to do that. So everybody does have it within themselves to try new things and do new things. It's just really handy to have a buddy in the corner who you can say, am I doing this right? Or how can I do this differently? Or how was that you can go back to and not feel that you have to share it with people who maybe you don't know so well, or who will tell you that you're doing really, really well, because family and friends are really fabulous at telling us that we're doing really, really well when maybe we don't feel we are. And to have someone who's impartial and objective and can say, okay, well, how was it for you? What would you do differently if you could do it again? What would you change about it? What did you like? What didn't you like? And can then help you to work with that. Can be really, really valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually that kind of fits in with one of the questions that we've had today through messages. And I'll read it out because I think it really kind of illustrates how a lot of holistic therapists might be feeling at the moment. And it says, I don't like to think of myself as a business person. In fact, the very word business makes me shudder. I do what I do to get away from sort of business, and I don't want to make loads of money. So why do I need a coach? I think that's quite a good question.
And it's a fabulous question, isn't it? And do you know, I have struggled so much with finding another word for business. So if anybody out there can come up with a different word for business, then please let me know. Because obviously business is a universally accepted word, but it does have connotations, and connotations that many in the holistic world do, as that person has said, they shudder. Oh no, I don't want to be a business person, I don't want to be speaking with people. And the whole value of having a coach, if you think about it, if you turn it on its head, and you think about when somebody comes to us as a practitioner and says, okay, this is what I need, then they don't come to us with their symptoms and say, this is what you need to do to make me better. They say, this is how I'm feeling right now, and this is where I want to be. So we kind of coach them, but we coach them with our tools. So we coach them with reflexology in your case, we coach them with massage, we coach people with kinesiology, and we bring those tools in to help them. And having the opportunity to talk to someone about the other aspects of what you're doing, it might be, the dreaded tax man, it might be getting your marketing out there, it might be negotiating a different deal on your room space. Some people that I've worked with, it's been actually what people would see as relatively minor things, But if they're an obstacle, they're an obstacle, and they become quite large. So having someone that you can sit down with, have a cup of coffee and say, right, okay, this is what's challenging me, who can give you some different insights, ask you some different questions, enable you to think about it differently. However you want that business to be is entirely up to you. I'm never going to push people and say, no, you have to be earning this amount of money. But sometimes I do say to people, okay, how much money do you need to make to survive in this world? And is what you're charging and the way that you're working going to enable you to do that and still have a life? Because the thing that I see more often than not is that people then end up having to get part-time jobs. They end up working both ends of the day. They're exhausted, which again, in the industry that we work in the holistic industry, that's really damaging. Because if you're tired when you work with a client, you're only going to get more tired, and the client isn't going to get the best from you, and you're not going to feel the best about what you're doing. So my passion here really is enabling holistic practitioners who are such experienced people in what they do to just manage the other side of it as well, so that they can make a living and that it can be sustaining for them to make enough money to do what they have to do. Because at the end of the day, we work in a capitalist society, and the things that we do are managed by money, and we've got to find that way of managing, paying the rent, paying the bills, buying food, and doing what we love to do. So yeah, if there's a better term than running a business, I mean, I refer to it as running a practice, all those different sorts of things, but I do appreciate that those are quite clinical and can be quite challenging words for people, but they are only words. The whole point of this is that it is your business, and I want to help you to run your business your way, whatever that looks like for you.
Okay, oh, that's great. I think that's really helpful, really helpful. Now, earlier on, you were mentioning a retreat. So I wondered if you could just tell me a little bit more about that, because that sounded really exciting.
I love retreats. They're just so fantastic. And every retreat, every time I do a retreat, I come away and I feel like a different person, because it's a learning experience for everyone. It's really lovely. And we go away to beautiful places like the Harry Edwards Healing Sanctuary down in Surrey. There's a hotel up in the forest that I use as well, in Dorby Forest. And the idea is that we go somewhere that is very holistic, that has nature around it, it has space, it has light, it has air, and we can do learning about business, but also we do a bit of yoga, we go out for a walk, we do some art, we do all different sorts of activities which enable people to think more creatively and more productively about whatever the topic is ultimately. And the whole idea of retreats, we only have 6 people on each retreat, so it's a lovely, small, intimate group. Everybody gets to know each other. So you build a bond, a real lasting bond, with 6 other people, including myself in that, so 7 of us in the rooms. And you can stay if you want to stay. So if you want to properly retreat and come away and give yourself some real quality time, you can do that. But the reason that I run these all over the place is actually, if your life doesn't mean that you can do that, you can still come for the whole day and then go home in the evening and do things you need to do at home, come back in the morning and join us. And the whole idea of retreating is about taking that time out and giving yourself the space away from everything else, building some friendships, building some bonds, learning some really valuable tools, and not just learning them theoretically. In retreats, we have that opportunity in the closed group to say, right, okay, I'm going to try this thing now, and I'm going to see how it really works, and I'm going to put my own spin on it, and I'm going to maybe fall flat on my face the first time that I do it, and that's okay, because I'm with a group of people who will support me. And we also share therapies, so we can learn about other people's therapies. We do a group balance. So it's that whole sort of holistic world coming together and saying, okay, let's learn something about business. Let's do the marketing retreat. Let's do the social media retreat. Let's do the bookkeeping or the whatever retreat, so that people then go away thinking, I've got you now. I've landed this. I can do this, and I know how I'm going to do it. And quite often in the retreat, people start doing the thing that they need to do, because then again I can give them individual attention, can work with other people, bounce ideas off and say, okay, I've tried it this way, it didn't work quite so well, how could I do it differently to really make it my own?
Yeah, well, that sounds really, really good, to actually have that space as well, and have those factors that are so important, because you've not just taken the time out, we've also got that support network as well. So that you can try new things and you can bounce ideas, because sometimes you do come up with ideas, but it's nice to talk ideas through with other people too, isn't it?
Absolutely, and even simple things like understanding what the branding is.
Yeah.
You know, and we sit in our offices, or we sit in our therapy rooms, or we sit in our lounges, kitchen table, working, you know, and we come up, excuse me, we come up with ideas, and we come up with colour schemes, and we come up with words, but actually it's all very inside. Having someone outside to run that by is so valuable. And of course, after a retreat, you've got 7 people you can run that by, who you can just ping a Facebook message to, send a text to, send an email to, make a phone call to, meet for a coffee with, and say, oh, you know when we did that thing, and you were saying about that, can you talk to me a bit more about that? Can you give me a bit more feedback on that, or a bit more background on that, or a bit more info on that?
Yeah.
And it is, because working holistically is very isolating.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That was exactly the word I was going to use, is that it can be such an isolating kind of journey, really.
Yeah.
And to have that group, because you do connect so much more with people when you've retreated with them. And so to have that support network is really very valuable, isn't it?
Definitely, and the learning on retreat is it's bigger, if you know what I mean, because you don't have to think about other things. You don't have to think about, do I leave the gas on? Do I need to hang that laundry out? I've got to walk the dog. You don't have to think about those things, so you can concentrate completely on what it is that you're trying to do for your business and devote your whole heart to it in that space, and come away with something that is bigger than you would have been able to do by yourself.
Yes, yeah. Well, I was just checking on Twitter as well, Claire. We've had a couple of questions on there, which is really exciting. So first of all, one of the questions is, do I have to sign up for loads of coaching sessions? You do have all these packages and things like that. Are you like that? Is that how you work? Or
no, that's not how I work at all. I mean, you should have seen me on the front doorstep this morning having an Excel conversation with one of my clients on the phone. The whole point of this is that it works for you. So actually, if you come and you've got one very specific question or one very specific issue and you need help to get over that hump, that's what we do. And that's it. We may never work again together. Doesn't matter. You'll be part of the BizVits Facebook group, which means you'll be able to get together with other people who have also experienced coaching or retreats or training with me. So again, it builds those relationships for you. Other people say, no, actually, I want to get from this place to another place. I need some structured support and help. I need a foot in my back, is sometimes how it is for people. I need someone to keep on at me, to keep me on the track, to keep doing these things, and to keep asking me these questions. So it's entirely up to people, really. I mean, at the end of every session, I say to people, okay, what's the next step? Do you want to see me again? Are you happy to go off on your own and do this thing? Are we leaving this? Are we doing more of this? And very much as it is with holistic therapies, actually. You know, people always feel quite uncomfortable if they go to a therapist and they say, oh, yeah, I understand what your problem is. You need to have this once a week for the next 20 weeks. And oh, crikey, that's a huge commitment, you know. But if you say to someone, yeah, you know, let's work on it today. I've seen results on this in X amount of time. But the fact is, because you're an individual, because your problem is individual, then you may just come for one session, really get to grips with it, think, yeah, I've got this now, go away and sort it out. You don't need me anymore, that's fine. And the next time that you need me, I'm still here. So yeah, I much prefer to work with that, because the whole point for me in coaching is to empower people to do it for themselves. It's not to create a codependent relationship where people cannot run their businesses unless they run it past me first. That's not the point. The point is that people can say, yeah, absolutely, I didn't know that thing, now I know that thing, now I can get on with it. And they can check back if they want to, that's fine. Yeah, I'm very happy to do that with people.
Yeah. Oh no, that's really good. That's really good. Thank you. And just another one here. I'd like to work face to face, really, but you're based in York. So how can you help me? Or can you? Can you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, I've got a cloning project underway. No, what I'm doing is I do coaching like this. I do coaching by Google Hangout. I do it by Skype. I do it on the phone. But I also travel around the UK. So where I'm running training courses and I'm running retreats, I also let people know that I'm in the area. So if they want to meet with me face to face, they're very welcome to. I do coaching by email, but it's very difficult. So what I tend to do is have a telephone conversation or a Skype or a hangout with someone, and then there'll be a follow-up by email, and there'll be little bits that I'll email them that we've talked about. You know, it might be a worksheet, it might be a YouTube link, it might be a bigger explanation of something that we've covered, so that they can then work through it, and then we can catch up on it later, and they can have a look at it. But coaching by email is probably the one thing that I don't do, just because it's too tricky. You don't have this dynamic, you don't have this conversation going on by email.
Yeah. Oh no, that's good. That's really good. Well, thank you, Claire. I mean, they're all the questions really that I have for you today. But I just wondered, just as a way to wrap up, do you have something that, you know, holistic therapists who are watching this could take away with them today? Maybe something to inspire them or to help them, or maybe an issue that you find comes up a lot that you could just say, oh, you know, this is my top tip to deal with this. I'll just hand it over to you just to kind of give them something to take away with them.
I think the biggest issue that I've encountered in the holistic world is a lack of self-value. Holistic therapists invest a huge amount of time and resource and their own effort into becoming qualified in what they do. And as they do that, they're constantly looking up to other people who are more qualified than them, more experienced than them, who have more clients than them. And they forget to look back down the journey and see that actually the people that they are working with as clients are exactly as they were before they started their training journey. So the one thing that I would say to all holistic therapists out there is that you are well qualified and well experienced people, and that when your customers come to you, it's because they know that you can do something to help them, and they value that, and it's okay for you to value that too. And in order for you to make a sustainable living out of what you do, that's the world that we live in. So please don't be scared to value what you do, and to be proud to stand up and say, yes, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how much I charge.
Thank you, Claire. I think they're very wise words there. And also, how do people get in contact with you if they do want to work with you? Where do they find you?
I'm hiding in my little den. I've got a little fairy door at the end of the garden.
Yes.
So,
you just appeared, and we just sort of say, Claire, where are you?
Yes, it's a bit like the sort of Wizard of Oz.
Fairy godmother.
Together, and Claire appears. No, I've got a website, BizVits.com. BizVits.co.uk. I'm on Facebook as BizVits. I'm on Twitter as C Cutler Casey. I'm on the Holistic Health Zone website as well. All of my contact details are on there. I'm on LinkedIn as Claire Cutler Casey. I'm all over the show, to be perfectly honest with you. If people do join the Holistic Health Zone as a gold member, they also get 10% off of everything that they do with me ever. So there's another good reason to check out the Holistic Health Zone website and check out my details on there. If people are nervous about working with me, then obviously, and we all know what that's like, you know, clients are like, oh, is this going to work for me? I have exactly the same challenges with people who work with me. Do feel free to ping me a text, drop me a tweet, send me an email, give me a ring. You may have to leave a message, because obviously when I'm working with people, the same as with you guys, if I'm working with a client, I can't be answering my phone, so don't be scared of the answer phone. Do leave me a message and just let me know what you want to know, and I'll give you a call back or send you a text back or tweet you back and let you know if I can help you, because I'm absolutely sure that whatever it is that's troubling you probably feels bigger because you're looking at it on your own. And when you've got somebody by your side, suddenly it becomes very much diminished and you think, oh yeah, I can do that, I can do that. So yeah, my details are all over everywhere really, but check out the Holistic Health Zone website and all of my details are on there.
Okay. Well, that's lovely, Claire. It's been really nice to talk to you this afternoon, and I hope all our listeners out there find it really useful and perhaps give you a call as well. So for everybody out there, I hope you've enjoyed this afternoon and our Holistic Health Zone Live. We've got another one next Friday at 12 o'clock when we'll be interviewing Jane Ty. We're really excited about that too, because she's absolutely lovely and I'm sure she'll be sharing lots of fantastic things with us too. So make sure that you do follow us on Google Plus and also on YouTube, and of course all our other places, because we seem to be everywhere. You can follow us on Twitter, you can find us on Facebook, and of course our website holistichealthzone.co.uk. So it's been lovely sharing Claire with you this afternoon, and thank you again, Claire. And we hope to hear from you all soon. So bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, Claire.
Thanks, Andrea. Bye.
Bye-bye.